As political tensions escalate in the United States following the recent return of Donald Trump to the White House, a wave of discourse has emerged surrounding the Democratic Party's future and its leadership. With the Democratic National Committee (DNC) facing a significant uphill battle after the loss of the presidency and both chambers of Congress, the party is at a crossroads. Recent discussions highlight not only the challenges ahead but also the potential figures who may shape its direction moving forward. In a candid conversation on the latest episode of Latino USA, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, known colloquially as AOC, voiced her concerns about the Democratic Party's messaging and its disconnect with working-class Americans. "I think structurally overall the Democratic Party has this confused message," Ocasio-Cortez remarked, emphasizing that many voters feel that the government has not been working in their favor, despite the Biden administration's efforts. Her comments come as the party seeks to navigate the fallout from the 2024 election, where many voters cited inflation and rising grocery prices as key issues influencing their decisions. Ocasio-Cortez further warned about the ramifications of current immigration policies, stating, "For all of the people who cast a vote based on grocery prices and inflation, if you think your groceries are expensive now, wait until the farms are empty." This perspective underscores a growing concern within the party about the economic consequences of alienating immigrant labor, which plays a critical role in the agricultural sector. In parallel, the DNC has made a leadership change, electing Ken Martin, the chair of the Minnesota Democratic Party, as its new leader. Martin's election comes as a response to the party's struggles following the recent electoral defeat. He has been vocal about the need to rebuild the party's infrastructure and restore its connection with voters. "Today's elections mark a new chapter in DNC leadership," Martin stated, vowing to hold Trump and his allies accountable for their policies that, according to him, exploit working families. His immediate criticism of Trump's proposed tariffs against key trading partners highlights the urgency with which he aims to address economic concerns that resonate with the electorate. As the Democratic Party grapples with its identity and strategy, the discourse has also extended to notable figures outside of traditional political realms. ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith has emerged as an unexpected voice discussing the party's failures and potential avenues for reinvention. In recent interviews, he has been critical of the Democratic establishment, arguing that it has become tone-deaf to the needs of the American populace, particularly among marginalized communities. His insights reflect a broader sentiment that the party must reconnect with the everyday struggles of Americans to regain their trust and support. The dynamics within the Democratic Party are indicative of a larger struggle to adapt to a rapidly changing political landscape. With Trump's administration already implementing a series of controversial policies, including potential tariffs that could exacerbate economic woes, the stakes have never been higher. The new leadership of Ken Martin, combined with voices like Ocasio-Cortez and Smith, may signal a pivotal moment for the party as it seeks to redefine its approach and messaging. Looking ahead, the Democratic Party faces a crucial opportunity to recalibrate its strategy and rebuild its base. The coming months will reveal whether the party can synthesize the insights of its new leadership and influential commentators to effectively address the concerns of their constituents. As the political climate continues to shift, the direction the Democratic Party takes now could significantly impact its prospects in future elections. In recent political discourse, the intersection of good intentions and effective governance has come under scrutiny, particularly through the lens of Allegheny County's Sam DeMarco. As he steps away from his roles as both the Allegheny County councilman and the chairman of the County Republican Committee to serve as the regional director for Senator Dave McCormick, DeMarco reflects on the lessons learned during his tenure. His insights resonate with a broader sentiment that navigating the complexities of public governance demands more than just compassion. It requires financial acumen, strategic foresight, and a commitment to pragmatic solutions. DeMarco's departure brings an opportunity to evaluate the fiscal responsibilities of local government. He emphasizes the paramount importance of sound budgeting, cautioning against the pitfalls of expanding programs amid financial shortfalls. Handing out pay raises on the first day in office, he warns, while also promising a welfare state that keeps people dependent on public largesse is unsustainable. This perspective underlines a critical tension: how to balance compassion for those in need with the harsh realities of a budget constrained by taxpayer dollars. The recent decision to increase property taxes by 36% under the current administration exemplifies the difficulties of reconciling these priorities, prompting DeMarco to vote against it, citing the unsustainable nature of such spending practices. At the heart of DeMarco's message is the belief that government should not merely expand its reach but should do so judiciously, ensuring that it does not create more dependency among its citizens. He notes that many residents of Allegheny County struggle to see the value of their tax contributions, viewing government not as a service provider but as a department of spending. This disconnect, DeMarco argues, points to a larger issue in governance: the need for officials to respect taxpayers and be transparent about the use of their funds. DeMarco also critiques the current political climate, where conflict and sensationalism often overshadow substantive policy discussions. He laments the tendency for politicians to seek the limelight through controversy rather than constructive dialogue, which he believes has detrimental effects on effective governance. Sitting on county council taught me that conflict makes better headlines than policy, he asserts. This observation reflects a growing concern among voters who are fatigued by political theatrics and yearn for tangible solutions to pressing issues. Looking toward the future, DeMarco expresses hope for the Republican Party in Allegheny County, particularly in light of changing political affiliations among younger voters and blue-collar workers. He notes a shift away from traditional Democratic loyalties, suggesting that the GOP can appeal to those who feel alienated by the current political landscape. Private sector unions and blue-collar workers feel themselves shut out by a Democratic Party enthralled to its left wing, he observes, hinting at an opportunity for Republicans to re-establish themselves as champions of these groups. The lessons DeMarco shares extend beyond local politics. They resonate with the broader national narrative as Republican candidates across the country grapple with similar challenges. The current political climate, marked by division and factional disputes, poses risks to party cohesion. DeMarco warns against purity tests within the party, emphasizing that coalitions rather than factions are essential for electoral success. You don't win elections by boycotting your candidates, he stresses, advocating for a more inclusive approach that can unite various ideological strands within the party. As he embarks on a new chapter in his career, DeMarco reflects on his roots in Allegheny County, where his family's immigrant history and blue-collar background shaped his perspectives on governance and public service. His commitment to his community remains strong, as he encourages future leaders to prioritize the needs of their constituents over personal ambitions or party loyalty. Looking ahead, the political landscape in Allegheny County, and indeed across the nation, will continue to evolve. As voters seek authenticity and accountability from their leaders, the lessons learned from DeMarco's experiences may serve as a guidepost for those navigating the intricate terrain of public service. The challenge remains to transform good intentions into meaningful action that benefits all citizens, ensuring that governance is both compassionate and sustainable. The nomination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Secretary of Health and Human Services has ignited a firestorm of controversy and debate in the U.S. Senate. Kennedy, a prominent figure in the anti-vaccine movement, is facing significant opposition from medical experts and lawmakers alike, and a recent letter intended to bolster his confirmation has only fueled the scrutiny. This letter, presented to the Senate by supporters, included names of doctors who have faced disciplinary action, raising questions about the validity of the endorsement. As Kennedy testified before the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions on January 30, 2025, he was met with skepticism from several key senators. Among them was Republican Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, a medical doctor himself, who has publicly expressed uncertainty regarding Kennedy's fitness for the role. The letter, which claimed to represent the collective voice of physicians, was meant to lend credibility to Kennedy's nomination, but the Associated Press uncovered troubling details. The investigation revealed that among the nearly 800 individuals who signed the letter, many are not licensed medical professionals. The list included a self-described journalist, a certified public accountant, and even a firefighter/paramedic, alongside at least 75 nurses and several physician assistants. Significantly, more than 90 signatories did not provide any professional credentials. This misrepresentation has raised alarms about the integrity of the endorsement. The letter was orchestrated by Maha Action, an organization led by Del Bigtree, a staunch anti-vaccine activist and former campaign manager for Kennedy. Bigtree's organization has a history of controversy, primarily surrounding its funding from chiropractic groups which have supported Kennedy's anti-vaccine nonprofit initiatives. In a statement, Maha Action spokesperson Emma Post claimed the letter was circulated organically among physicians but did not clarify the vetting process for the signatories. A deeper examination of the letter's signatories revealed that at least 10 doctors had faced disciplinary actions from state medical boards, with sanctions ranging from license revocations to probation for various forms of misconduct. One notable signatory, Dr. Paul Thomas, voluntarily surrendered his medical license in 2022 following findings of gross negligence in his practice. This raises significant concerns about the letter's intent and the qualifications of those endorsing Kennedy. Dr. Simone Gold, another signatory, has her own contentious history, having been reprimanded by California's medical board for her involvement in the events at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Gold has since been pardoned by former President Trump, further complicating the narrative surrounding Kennedy's support. Opponents of Kennedy's nomination have countered with their own letter, gathering more than 18,000 signatures from what they assert are vetted and verified medical professionals. These opposing voices indicate a strong resistance to Kennedy's potential appointment, underscoring the divide over vaccine safety and public health policy in the U.S. as the Senate deliberates on Kennedy's nomination. The implications of this controversy extend beyond individual careers. It reflects broader societal tensions surrounding vaccine skepticism and public health, particularly in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The outcome of this nomination will likely resonate through the political landscape, influencing future discussions on health policy and the role of government in regulating medical practice. With the Senate poised to make a decision, all eyes remain on the confirmation process, where Kennedy's past and the legitimacy of the support he garners will play a crucial role in determining the future of public health leadership in the United States. The unfolding events suggest a pivotal moment for both Kennedy and the national conversation on health, vaccines, and the integrity of medical endorsements in politics. In a move that has stirred both excitement and skepticism within political circles, Mike Johnson has been re-elected as Speaker of the House, narrowly securing his position amidst a backdrop of internal Republican dissent. Johnson, who represents Louisiana, managed to clinch the gavel with a slim majority of 218 votes against Democratic challenger Hakeem Jeffries, who garnered 215 votes. This election reinforces the delicate balance of power within the House and highlights the internal divisions that could shape legislative agendas moving forward. Johnson's re-election came after he promised to undertake meaningful spending reforms aimed at eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse within government spending. A key component of this pledge involves the establishment of a new working group that will collaborate with Elon Musk's extra-governmental initiative, the Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE). However, the specifics of this partnership remain vague, prompting questions about the actual impact this group may have beyond merely disseminating findings. The lead-up to Johnson's re-election was marked by intense negotiations and last-minute vote switching among Republican lawmakers. Despite facing considerable pressure from hard-right members of his party, Johnson managed to fend off demands for substantial concessions. In fact, he stated, "I don't make deals with anyone. I don't do anything in exchange for a vote other than commit to make this institution work as effectively and efficiently as possible." This assertion, however, did not quell the concerns of some party members who remain wary of Johnson's handling of previous budget battles that relied on Democratic votes. The backdrop of this political drama is a growing concern among analysts regarding the future direction of the Republican Party. Brian Gardner, a chief Washington policy strategist, commented on the chaotic atmosphere surrounding Johnson's re-election, suggesting that it is indicative of the challenges Republicans will face in the months ahead. Some of the chaos is a signal about how difficult it is going to be for Republicans going forward, Gardner remarked, emphasizing the need for party unity in the face of looming legislative deadlines. As Johnson takes the helm once more, the urgent tasks at hand include navigating contentious issues such as border security, energy policy, and upcoming negotiations surrounding the national debt ceiling. The stakes are high as the Republican Party aims to push through its agenda while maintaining cohesion, a task made more complex by the varied interests within its ranks. Support from former President Donald Trump has also played a pivotal role in Johnson's re-election bid. Trump publicly endorsed Johnson and actively reached out to lawmakers on his behalf, further solidifying Johnson's position within the party. This backing signals a potential shift in the Republican agenda, with Trump's focus on immigration and border security likely to dominate discussions in the coming weeks. In addition to internal party dynamics, the Republican leadership faces external pressures as the Biden administration continues to advance its own policies. With Democrats poised to challenge Republican initiatives, the need for a unified front within the party is more critical than ever. As Johnson settles into his renewed role, all eyes will be on how he navigates the choppy waters of Republican politics and whether he can effectively implement his proposed reforms while keeping his party unified. The coming months will reveal whether Johnson's leadership can indeed fulfill the promise of a more efficient government, or if the fractures within the party will hinder its legislative ambitions. The implications of these developments will resonate far beyond the Capitol, influencing not just political landscapes but the lives of everyday Americans as well. In a rapidly evolving legal landscape, the Supreme Court of the United States is poised to address a trio of significant cases concerning religious rights which could reshape the boundaries of church and state in America. As advocates for religious freedoms rally to expand their influence, critics warn that these developments may further undermine the foundational principle of separation between religion and government. Justice Brett Kavanaugh, during a recent address at Catholic University, emphasized the court's progress in reinforcing religious liberty. "That's one area in the 6 years I've been on the court that in my view we've made correct and important strides," he stated. This sentiment resonates amid a wave of upcoming cases that could solidify or challenge the current trajectory of religious rights jurisprudence. The first of these pivotal cases involves a challenge from Oklahoma to establish the nation's first religious charter school. This case could potentially allow government funding of religious schools for the first time, testing the limits of the First Amendment's prohibition against government endorsement of religion. Robert Tuttle, a law and religion professor at George Washington University, remarked that the case raises critical questions about whether charter schools can be deemed public entities when operated by religious organizations. A ruling in favor of the charter school could mark a significant shift in educational policy, allowing religious institutions to access public funding, thereby blurring the lines between church and state. The second case centers on parents in Maryland seeking to opt their children out of classes where books featuring LGBTQ+ characters are included in the curriculum. School officials argue that these books are essential to reflect the community's diversity, while parents contend that exposure to these themes contradicts their religious beliefs. Legal experts indicate that the outcome of this case could redefine the extent of parental rights in public education, particularly concerning curriculum content that some deem objectionable. Lastly, a dispute involving a Wisconsin Catholic charitable organization and its employment tax exemption is set to be reviewed. The Wisconsin Supreme Court denied the exemption, arguing that the organization's services did not sufficiently reflect a religious purpose. This case underscores the complexities of defining what constitutes a religious organization and could have far-reaching implications for tax exemptions across the country. Frank Ravitch, a law professor at Michigan State University, noted the significance of these cases, emphasizing that they each carry substantial stakes. None of these are minor cases, he asserted. The Supreme Court's recent history suggests a trend favoring religious rights, with conservatives increasingly viewing the Constitution's Establishment Clause as an impediment to their freedom of practice. Critics, including Rachel Laser, president of Americans United for Separation of Church and State, express concerns over the potential implications of these cases. She argues that such decisions threaten the very foundation of American democracy, which has long prided itself on the separation of church and state. "We should be proud of that," she stated, highlighting the importance of maintaining a clear boundary between government and religious institutions. These forthcoming decisions, expected in the spring and finalized by summer, signal a critical moment for religious rights in America. As the Supreme Court navigates these complex issues, the balance between ensuring religious freedoms and preserving the separation of church and state hangs in the balance, with the potential to reshape American society for years to come. Observers will be keenly watching how the court interprets these cases, as their outcomes could set new precedents in the ongoing debate over religious rights and government involvement.